What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Coming at you with another upload. Shortly prior to this upload, I hopefully would have uploaded a Hindu Kush Mancera, perfume experience. And I thought, you know what? I do have another cannabis perfume in my collection, so why not compare both of them, as in one cannabis versus the other. And this is what this is gonna be. It's gonna be a comparison of the only two cannabis perfumes within my collection. And without further ado, I bring to you Mancera Hindu Kush versus Nasomatto Black Afgano. And let's see if I can fit both of them in the frame here for everybody's reference. But this is what we are looking at here. Two very gorgeous compositions, very different approach to a cannabis-based perfume. And in terms of how I will go about this, I already have a video on Black Afgano and another video on Hindu Kush, which I've just recently uploaded, hopefully. What I'll do is I'll put these two down there, so in these videos I cover the notes as well as just overall experience. For this upload, I would like to focus on comparing how both of them smell next to each other. I've never done that before, so I don't know what to expect. I know how each one smells different to the other, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and spray both on my forearms. I like to spray here just because I wash my hands a lot, and having it on my wrist, I end up washing my wrist, and it's just a waste of good perfume. So I'll put it on my upper forearms, and we'll start comparing scent profiles in terms of how I smell them. So just, I'm gonna get started with it. All right, so first of all, Hindu Kush, and I'll go ahead. Now, I've developed this habit where I shake my perfumes before. This is because of the artisanal oil-based perfumes I have. I find that when I shake them, they tend to smell better, I guess, and I do that with synthetic ones too. Now, whether that actually works or not, your guess is as good as mine. It's probably just a mental thing for me. But here we go. So I'm just gonna start off with Hindu Kush, and the spray on this sucks. So I'm just gonna really, there we go for it. All right, so I'm gonna let that air for a bit. In terms of oil color, just for your reference, I have it right there, and it's fairly clear. There isn't much of a residue. All right, next we have Black. All right, let me focus you guys. Next we have Black Afgano. And without further ado, also, give it a little bit of shake. Yeah, doesn't hurt. And, okay. Now, on Black Afgano, I want to emphasize something that I think the reformulation I have is a lighter version of the original. I believe in my Black Afgano video, someone commented that the older one was actually very thick black and much more resinous than what I have right now, which is frustrating because I wanted the original one, but apparently Nasomatto does not make them as they used to anymore, and I guess they're just trying to appeal to the mass market, and that's why this is happening. But in terms of residues, you see the juice of Nasomatto here is purplish, dark purple. However, when you do spray it, it's very, so I have it sprayed here. Unfortunately, it hit my biceps a bit. It's very clear. There isn't much really there in terms of residue or stain. I will say though, comparing them next to each other, I'm surprised Mancera is more oily. But then again, I shouldn't really be surprised because there is cannabis oil within Hindu Kush. So maybe that's why it has a bit of an oily residue to it. So here we go. I'm gonna start by taking whiffs. Okay, so this is Hindu Kush. It's fantastic. I mean, It's such an elegant, refined, classy scent, and the cannabis here comes across more like tea. Like you're smelling the leaves of kind of rooibos tea. If you ever smelled rooibos before it's brewed, this is what it reminds me of. It's not cannabisy at all. Okay, so that's initial impression, Hindu Kush. Now, Nasomatto Black Afgano. Oh, very different. Very different. Wow. This is sexy. Okay. This is like, oh. Wow. How do I even explain this? I can't even remember how I explained it in my other video. So this is definitely more on the musty, muggy, sort of ambery, warm side of things. Again, you don't really get a lot of that sort of cannabis hit, if you wish. But if you really focus, you can pick on it. But it's like, it's just a dark, dark scent. It's very. This is like a night out clubbing / drinks scent. It's very sexy. I ain't gonna lie. It's a bit dirty, you know. It's just like, yeah, it's a bit dirty, but it's not bad dirty. It's kind of like the kind of dirty where you're like, let me smell that again. You know, this is the best way I can explain it. I don't know how to put it otherwise. It's good dirty, if you have different categories for dirty. But it's just it's very, very, very different. You go to Hindu Kush and it's like clean, very elegant, refined, and then you go to wow, Black Afgano, and it's like, God. What is the best way to explain this? It's like you spent a night with your girlfriend in your bedroom, and just kind of, things got a bit hot and heavy, and in between your sets, while you're taking breaks, you're smoking weed. It's just like what your bedroom is gonna smell after a night of that. And it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's just, and again, I'm being extreme here, so please do not take my words literally. But it's just, this is what comes to mind, really. It's like, one, like Hindu Kush, it's like you're wearing a white suit, and Black Afgano, a black suit. It's just like, they're both amazing, stunning scents. They're just the God. I hate comparisons because I can't do them justice. But at the same time, they're like, it's quite amazing how two very different houses with very two different DNAs and two different formulations approach the same sort of subject matter, or sort of a keynote, if you wish, differently. I mean, you know that the key theme for both of these is cannabis or hashish, however you wish. And it's just like you take that theme or you take that note, and you can just really, depending on the nose of the perfumer behind it, it's just such a different yet distinct and beautiful delivery for each of them. I like both of them a lot. I'd say definitely, I don't have a preference. They're both cannabis centered, oriented, but it's just they're just different. You can't really compare either one of them to each other, because it's just a very different take on cannabis. I will say though, for my preference, in terms of like situation in which you'd put these, I'd say Hindu Kush is more, clean, classy setting. Black Afghano is more about, like partying, going out on a date, kind of, being sort of bad boyish, being up to no good, being problematic, troublesome, mischievous. But Hindu Kush is more, I would say, for refined settings, and the cannabis in there, like I said, comes more across to me as tea, Um, but they're just both very, very gorgeous, beautiful scents. You can't go wrong with either. I mean, it's just wow. It's yeah. I mean, it would have been interesting to because I know that Hindu Kush hasn't changed much over time. It would have been interesting for me to get an idea of what Black Afgano, the original, would have been like. Unfortunately, Nasomatto doesn't sell them that way, and I get very weirded and sketched out by secondary markets because you never really know if you're getting the real thing or not. So I try to stay away from secondary markets. But yeah, in terms of a comparison, this is Hindu Kush versus Black Afgano. This is my thoughts on both. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you for your time and attention. Really, really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.